Hello, what's up YouTube photographer Ronix with another. In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how you can easily color grade images, especially regarding skin tones and the background, so that your image can stand out and pop in Photoshop. So if I thought this is what you have always wanted to learn, I request that you hit the like button on this video because it's going to help YouTube push and recommend this video. And as a bonus, I'm going to be sharing with you how I easily make images have that nice glow after doing the color grading. So without further ado, let's get started with this video tutorial. So this is the image after matching the skin tone color or the skin tones, and I've done some retouching on it. So when I take the image to Photoshop after retouching, the next thing I do is color grading and making the skin tones rich and making them stand out. So when I do this, I simply come and after retouching, factory you have a number of layers below. Just create a stamp visible layer by pressing Shift Alternate Control E on the keyboard. Then if you're using Mac, simply use Shift Option Command E on the keyboard. So for my case, I only have the background. I'm simply going to press Control J to duplicate the background layer right here. So after this, I simply come first of all filter and I come to camera raw filter. So in the camera raw filter, this when I'm just going to first of all work on the skin tone so it can be a little bit richer and can have that nice and rich contrast within it. So I'll just come to my color mixer, or if at all you have an older version of camera raw, you may find it named as HSL. So I'm just going to come to luminance. Luminance is the brightness or darkness of a given color, and I'll go straight to my oranges and simply darken. You can see luminance is more of brightening or darkening of a given color. So I'm just going to darken the oranges just up to around -28. Then after that, I'm going to come to my hues because I want the model to stand out, and these yellows in the background are a little bit contradicting and my model is not standing out well from the green background. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to come to the greens and take the green towards the aquas, and also do the same for my yellows to eliminate the yellows that are contradicting with the model. And you can see right now the model is going to stand out, but the greens are a little bit oversaturated. So I'll just come to saturation, and remember saturation is the intensity of a given color. So by taking down the slider, I'm just going to be reducing on the intensity of the green color. So you can see what we have done, and now the model is popping out of the background. But this is not it, or this is not all for the color grading. So we open the image back to Photoshop, and after that we're just going to add a little bit of contrast to the image by coming to the brightness and contrast slider and taking up the contrast up around, for this image I prefer around 19 looks good, or 18, and close this. Then we're going to come to my black and white adjustment layer, and under this change the blend mode from normal to multiply, and come and reduce the opacity all the way to 0, and just starting taking it up gradually to around 6 is okay. Then after I have done this, the next thing is going to simply come to my hue and saturation adjustment layer, because I want to create that kind of melanin kind of look or skin to the model. So after coming to hue and saturation, I'm going to come to the reds right here and simply come and take the lightness down of the red color, and this makes the image not overly saturated within the skin tone. Then I'm going to come to the yellows and simply reduce on the saturation of the yellows, and now you can see just by doing this the image has gotten to look better and it is not overly saturated. So when you feel like you have overdone that, simply come the opacity and reduce the opacity slightly. So after you have worked on the contrast issues regarding the skin, we have to do those minor adjustments, for example adding glow or shine to the image or to the skin. So for that I simply come, or we are simply going to come right here and come to the curves adjustment layer, and simply you can see that we have the dark point towards the left hand side and the whites or the white point on the right hand side. So you click on the white point and take it up to the image is getting overly overexposed rather, and close this. So just want the effect of the brightening to only affect the brightest areas of this image. So in order to achieve that, simply come and double click on this curves layer, and after clicking on it, simply come and make sure you have blend if set to gray, and you come to the underlying layer. Remember, we want to take the brightness away from the shadow areas of this very image. So we are going to simply click and hold down. So you left click and hold down and drag it up until when you feel like only the brightest areas are being affected by this effect. So this doesn't look good at all. So we want to refine this by simply holding down the option key. If at all using Mac, then if at all you're using Windows, the key to hold down is alternate, and simply split this. So you split the right hand slider towards the right hand side up to a point, or up to when you feel like it is blended well into the image, and stop right there. And now click OK, but this is also affecting the background. So you're just going to come to the white layer mask and press Ctrl I, or you can use Command I to invert the effect. Then after that, simply come and get the brush tool and make sure the hardness is set all the way to 0%, opacity at 100%, flat 100%. Then make sure you have black and white on these two tiny boxes, or you can reset by using or clicking right here on these two tiny boxes, or you can switch between black and white by using X on the keyboard, or you can use this arrow, meaning the white brush is going to be revealing what has been hidden behind the black mask. So you can increase on the size and only paint on the brightest areas, and this is going to introduce shine or glow to the model's skin, and it's going to make it look a little bit different than it was before. So this is a minor adjustment, but it always transforms the photo. So you can see the before, after, you can see how nice the glow is making the image pop. So after we have done this, the last thing that I do after color grading in Photoshop is simply coming and intensifying the blacks under selective color. So I'll simply take up the blacks just like that, slightly to around 2. And after that, I want to do eye whitening. So for eye whitening, rather, I'll simply come to hue and saturation and desaturate the image all the way to around -75 and invert this layer mask. You can say eyes look white, but it has also affecting the overall image. So I'll just come to the white layer mask, and when it is selected, press Ctrl I and come get the brush, white as a foreground color, and zoom into the eyes in this case. So after zooming in, reduce on the size of the brush by using the bracket key on the keyboard, and just paint on only what I feel should be white in the white area of the eye. So if I told you paint extras, you can simply erase by switching the brush back to black. For example, if at all I painted here, switch it back to black and simply rub away the extras if at all you have made a mistake. So I'll switch mine back to white and paint in the white area. So I'll do the same for your teeth to do some teeth whitening. Remember, sometimes when you're color grading, we tend to affect the eyes and teeth. So you can see what we have been able to achieve, and now the model is popping and standing out from the background. So let's say a quick before and after for this image. So this is the image before, after. You can see how nice and popping the model has gotten from the background. So this is it for today's video, and if at all you have learned a thing or two from this video, don't forget to like this video, and don't forget to subscribe this channel if at all you have been watching and you're not subscribed yet to this channel. Ronix from Orange Photography. Thank you for watching. See you near more tutorials on this channel, and don't forget to keep practicing and also keep creating.